It was a cold, gray morning in the heart of the city. Rain drizzled down the cracked sidewalks, puddles reflecting the blurred shapes of people rushing past. No one noticed the old man sitting on the corner, hunched over, his clothes worn and wet. His hands shook slightly as he held a crumpled paper cup, hoping for even the smallest gesture of help. People walked around him as if he were invisible. Some glanced for a moment, then looked away. Some muttered under their breath about vagrants or bums. But most didn't even look at him at all. The old man's eyes, weary but gentle, scanned the crowd. Every passing face seemed busy, too busy to care. His stomach growled quietly. Hunger and loneliness clung to him like the dampness of his soaked coat. He was forgotten by everyone, except for one small pair of eyes that watched him from across the street. Before we dive into the story, if you enjoy heartfelt stories about human kindness, make sure to subscribe to Kindness Story Hub, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more stories that warm the heart and restore faith in humanity. The kid's name was Liam. He wasn't rich, far from it. In fact, he barely had enough to get through the day himself. His backpack, frayed at the corners, carried his lunch, a peanut butter sandwich and an apple. He had no allowance, no savings, nothing that adults might call money. Yet, there was something about Liam that set him apart from everyone else. Something that made him notice the people others ignored. That morning, Liam was on his way to school, splashing through puddles, when he saw the old man. He stopped. Unlike the grown-ups, Liam didn't look away. He tilted his head, studying the man's tired eyes and the trembling of his hands. He saw something that adults seem to have forgotten: a human being in need, deserving of attention and care. Most kids would have hurried along, worried about being late for class or teased for talking to a homeless man. But Liam felt a tug in his chest, a quiet voice saying, "You can do something, even if it's small." So, he reached into his backpack and pulled out his lunch. It wasn't much: a sandwich wrapped in wax paper and a crisp red apple, but it was everything he had for himself that day. Liam approached the old man, hands trembling slightly with nervous excitement. "Excuse me, sir," he said softly. "Do you want this?" The old man looked up, surprised. His eyes widened, and a faint smile crept across his weathered face. "For me?" he asked, almost in disbelief. Liam nodded. "I don't need it all," he said. "I can eat later. But maybe this will help you today." The old man's hands shook as he took the sandwich. He looked at Liam with gratitude so deep, it seemed to reach through the cold morning air. "God bless you, kid," he whispered. "You don't know what this means to me." Liam simply shrugged and smiled. "It's okay. Everyone deserves a little kindness." What happened next was something that changed Liam's life forever, and it started a chain reaction of kindness no one could have predicted. The old man, whose name was Mr. Thompson, had once worked as a teacher. He had a family, a home, and a life filled with purpose. But life had a way of turning on him. A sudden illness, medical bills, and the loss of his job left him with nothing. He spent years trying to get back on his feet, but the city can be unforgiving, and doors seemed to close at every turn. Sitting on that cold street corner, he had almost given up hope that anyone would see him, not really see him. But Liam's small act reminded him that kindness still existed, that even in the darkest moments, there could be light. As they sat together under the awning of a closed shop, Liam handed over the apple as well. They talked briefly about school, favorite movies, and Mr. Thompson's love for history. The old man laughed, a deep, heartfelt sound that Liam had never heard from anyone on the street before. For the first time in years, Mr. Thompson felt human again, not invisible, not forgotten. But Liam's kindness didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, he made a habit of visiting Mr. Thompson on his way to and from school. Each day, he brought what little he could spare, sometimes a sandwich, sometimes a bottle of water, sometimes just a warm smile and a conversation. Slowly, a friendship grew between the kid with nothing and the man with nothing but memories. The story spread quietly at first. People passing by noticed the boy who stopped every day to sit with the old man. Some smiled. Some shook their heads, thinking it was unusual for a kid to care about a stranger. But over time, their curiosity turned into inspiration. One day, a local shop owner named Mrs. Delgado noticed the duo. She ran a small bakery nearby and was known for her kind heart. Watching Liam share his lunch with Mr. Thompson touched her deeply. She invited them inside and offered hot cocoa and leftover pastries. "It's not much," she said, "but it's warm. You two deserve it." Soon, others in the neighborhood took notice. People began bringing small meals, warm clothing, and blankets. A local teacher heard the story and brought books for Mr. Thompson, who loved reading but hadn't had a proper book in years. Liam had no idea that his simple act of kindness would ripple outward like this. He thought he was just helping one person, but he was helping the whole community rediscover its heart. Through it all, Mr. Thompson never failed to marvel at the boy's generosity. "You know, Liam," he said one chilly afternoon, "you remind me that no one is ever too small to make a difference. You've given me hope again." Liam smiled. "I just wanted to help," he said. "You didn't have anyone. I thought maybe I could be someone for you today." And that was the beauty of it. Kindness doesn't ask for recognition. It doesn't care about age, wealth, or status. It only cares about the moment, the human connection, and the difference you can make in someone else's life. Weeks turned into months, and a transformation happened. Mr. Thompson, inspired by the support around him and by Liam's unwavering belief in him, applied for a teaching assistant position at a nearby school. He passed the interviews and began working again. The first paycheck he ever received in years, he used to donate to a local shelter, paying forward the generosity that had saved him. Liam's parents watched the whole story unfold with awe. They had always taught him to be compassionate, but seeing their son's simple act bloom into a movement of kindness filled their hearts with pride. The neighborhood itself felt warmer, softer, like the cold gray mornings had melted away a little because of the courage of one small boy who cared. But perhaps the most important lesson was the one Liam learned, that kindness is never measured by how much you have, but by how much you give of your heart. You don't need money, power, or fame to make a difference. Sometimes, the smallest gesture, a sandwich, a smile, a few minutes of your time, can change someone's life forever. The story of Liam and Mr. Thompson became a quiet legend in that city. People would often tell their children about the boy who stopped for the man no one else noticed. They told stories of how a simple act of humanity could ripple outward and transform lives. And each time they told it, the core message remained the same: everyone deserves kindness, and anyone can give it. On a particularly bright afternoon, as Liam and Mr. Thompson walked to the park, they passed a new homeless man sitting quietly on a bench. Liam stopped, instinctively reaching into his backpack. "Hey, do you want this?" he asked, holding out his lunch. The man looked up, surprised, and nodded. Liam smiled. Just like that, the cycle of kindness continued. It was a simple, ordinary moment, but in its simplicity lay its extraordinary power. One small act, one child who cared, one life touched, it had the power to awaken compassion in a whole community. And that's the truth about kindness: it doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't need to make headlines or win awards. All it needs is a willing heart, the courage to see someone's humanity, and the decision to act. Whether it's giving a meal, a smile, a kind word, or just your time, your actions matter more than you can imagine. So, when you walk past someone in need, remember Liam. Remember the boy with nothing who gave everything he had. Remember that the world may be busy, distracted, or indifferent, but one small gesture of kindness can light up even the darkest street corner, because sometimes, all it takes is a single act to remind someone that they are seen, they are valued, and they are not alone. And in that simple truth, we find hope, courage, and the power to change the world one kind act at a time. So, let's take a page from Liam's story. Look around. See the people others ignore. Offer your time, your attention, or your small gesture of care. Your kindness may seem tiny to you, but to someone else, it could be the moment that changes their entire life. The world doesn't need more perfect people, it needs more people willing to care, willing to act, and willing to give a little bit of themselves. And who knows? Your act of kindness might just start a ripple that no one can stop. After all, kindness is contagious, and one small spark is enough to light up the darkness.